the Devas. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, wanted to seek the blessings of Radha Mata, Brother Shams, of the Krishna Balaram, Bahal Gopal, Singhadev Bhagwan, Jagannath Baladev, Subhadramani, Gonitai, Tulsimani, Haridas Thakur, Guru Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, Guru Maharaj, and the assembled devotees. We are looking at continuing the Canto number 3, chapter 20, which is entitled Conversation between Maitri and Vidur. So, actually, it might be a different chapter name, but anyway, doesn't matter. Shonak Rishi is very eager to hear more from Sutta Goswami about what Manu did after Earth was back in her orbit. So this is where Lord Varaha rescues Earth, puts her back in the orbit. And also about saintly Vidu's inquiring from Maitreya. He compares such discussions to bathing in the Ganga because both free one from sin. Sutta said that Vidur was delighted to hear the pastimes of Varaha. In response to Vidur's inquiring about how the Prajapati, such as Marichi and Manu, created progeny, Maitreya began describing the creation. From Mahavishnu, karmas of the jivas, time, and the three modes of material nature, the total material element, are produced to form a universal egg, which lay on the casual ocean for over 1,000 years. Garbhadakshay Vishnu then enters the universal egg. From Garbhadakshay Vishnu's navel, Lord Brahma is born. When the Lord enters his heart, Brahma creates the universe again, including 5 coverings of ignorance and night, which ravenous Rakshasas take possession of. The Rakshasas, pained by hunger and thirst, ran after Brahma, who, although frightened, informed them that they were his children. The effulgent demigods born of goodness take possession of daytime. So the nights are controlled by the Rakshasas, the daytime by the Devatas. The demons created by Brahma were very agitated for sex desire. They chased Brahma, who took shelter of the Lord and was advised to cast off his body. When Brahma did that, his body became twilight and was advised to. The demons praised and embraced Twilight, who takes the beautiful form of a woman. She has an hourglass figure, and was playing with the ball. So the demons were enticed by this Twilight, which became beautiful form of a woman. Brahma evolves various bodies, both shining and dark. He also creates the Gandharvas and the Apsaras from his beauty, the Bhutas, the Pisachas from his laziness, Sadhyas from his power, forefathers from his invisible body, Siddhas and Vidyadharas from his ability to remain hidden, Kinaras and Kimpurushas from his reflection, snakes, etc., from his sullen mood. Absorbing himself in penance and meditation, Brahma creates the great sages. Satisfied, he also creates the human-like Manus. So this is a pretty complex area, and Maitreya Rishi is giving a very brief explanation of the creation process to Vidur. Sometimes the events of the secondary creation are in sequence, and sometimes some elements are omitted or put in a different order. The actual sequence of creation by Brahma, as given by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, is animals with 5 joints, trees and plants, snakes, cows, buffaloes, rakshasas, kumaras, Manu, and humans. So this is a little idea pictorially of what has happened, how the manifestations have come from Lord Brahma, and which part of the body of Brahma gave rise to the different manifestations. So we won't go through that again. Chapter 21. Conversation between Kardam Muni and Manu. So, Vidur asks Maitreya to describe the genealogical line of Swambhu Manu. Swambhu Manu was the first Manu created by Lord Brahma. He's the father of mankind, Manu. He especially wants to hear about Priyavrat, Uttanpad, Devhuti, who married Kardam, Daksha, and Ruchi. So, fulfilling Brahma's order to beget progeny, Kardam Muni, so this Kardam Muni here, purifies his consciousness by performing austerities for 10,000 years. Through meditation and penance, he gained the vision of the Supreme Lord. He is the Supreme Lord. The vision that was given to him is effulgent like this, like the sun, wearing a garland of white lotuses and water lilies, clad in spotless yellow silk. His lotus face was fringed with slick, dark locks of curly hair, adorned with a crown and earrings, held his characteristic conch, disc, and mace in 3 of his hands, and a white lily in the 4th. He glanced about in a happy, smiling mood, which captivated the hearts of the devotees. A golden streak is on his chest, the famous Kastuba gem suspended from his neck. He stood in the air with lotus flower placed on the shoulder of Garud. So this is a description of Narayan or Vishnu. Kardam joyfully falls at the lotus Lord's feet and offers obeisances full of love. So this is a Kardam Muni in the forest. He has darshan of the Lord who comes on Garud in his 4-handed form. And then he offers prayers to the Lord, some of which are as follows. His eyes have become successful by having darshan of the Lord. It takes advanced yogis lifetimes to see the Lord's transcendental form. His lotus feet can take one across the material world into the spiritual world. Less intelligent men worship the Lord for material things, but he is kind to them too. He, Kardam, is like them and worship the Lord to seek a wife of similar disposition to fulfill his desires in married life. People who take shelter of his lotus feet by discussing Krishna Katha are freed from bodily afflictions. The force of time as the Lord's chakra ultimately takes everything away. So we know that, right? Krishna says that in the 11th chapter as well. Time, I am the destroyer of all things. So this is his chakra, time. Although time does not affect the devotees. But if we engage in bhakti, pure bhakti, then we are in connection with the Supreme Lord. And the Supreme Lord is not affected by time, and nor are we, if we are performing pure devotional service. The Lord creates, maintains, and destroys like a spider creates its own cobweb and winds it up. So these are wonderful prayers by Kardam Muni to the Lord. Because of Kardam's sincere devotional service, He was meditating for 10,000 years. The Lord, who already knew his desires, assured him that he will, in 2 days' time, attain a highly qualified wife, Devahuti, daughter of Manu and Shatrupra. She will be beautiful and will bear 9 daughters and 1 son, the son being a plenary portion of the Supreme Lord himself, whose name is Kapil Dev. Then the Lord then leaves for Vaikuntha on his carrier Garud, whose flapping wings vibrate the hymns of the Samaved. In the meantime, this wonderful sage Kardam stayed on the banks of Bindu Sarovar, awaiting the time of which the Lord had spoken. After traveling all over the earth, Swambhu Manu, so Swambhu Manu is the one who's coming with his wife and his daughter, Devahuti. They reached the hermitage of the sage, who had just completed his vows of austerity on the very day foretold by the Lord. So this Bindu Sarovar, right? This lake flooded by river Saraswati contained the Lord's tears of compassion for Kartam. Why was there tears of compassion? Because he'd done severe austerities, 10,000 years. No joke. So that impacted the Lord. Oh, my devotees performing such severe austerities to please me. Its shores are rich with trees, fruits, and flowers. Numerous animals and birds flock to the lake, which was surrounded by clusters of pious trees and creepers, rich in flowers and fruits of all seasons, creating a very pleasant atmosphere. Seeing Manu approach, Kardam greets him with blessings and respect. Now, Manu is senior to Kardam Muni, but Kardam Muni is a pure devotee of the Lord. So he blesses. This is the kindness of the devotee. He blesses. And he also gives respect. He highly esteems his position as ruler and protector of the universe. Kardam compared Manu to the demigods. So he compares him to sun god, who's very majestic, the moon god, who's very calming, to Agni, the god of fire, who's invincible, to Indra, the lord of paradise, who is the lord of heaven, Vayu, the wind god, very strong, Yam, god of punishment. So Swambhu Manu also punishes sinners. Dharma, the god of piety, righteous. And Varun, the god presiding over the waters, deep and hidden reserves. This is really complimentary. Kardam was ready to do whatever Manu wanted. So this is nice, nice praise to Manu. So let's go past this. This we'll look at this another time. Okay. So chapter 22. The marriage of Kardam Muni and Devahuti. Manu, feeling modest, glorifies Kardam's superior position as a Brahmin. So Manu is in the Kshatriya mood because he's helping with creation. But Kardam is a Brahmin or a devotee. He offers sweet words and accepts Kardam's praise as a form of instruction from him. Little like encouragement. So interesting. When somebody praises you, it can go to the head. You can get a big ego. But actually, when somebody praises you, it should help you, inspire you to become how they are praising you. Try to live what they are seeing in you. For the protection of the Brahmins, the Lord created the Kshatriyas. The Brahmins are said to be his heart, and the Kshatriyas his arms. That is why the Brahmins and the Kshatriyas protect each other. The Brahmins protect the Kshatriyas through mantras and prayers. The Kshatriyas protect the Brahmins through weapons, as well as protecting themselves. And then the Lord protects through each other. Manu thanks his great fortune on seeing Kadam. He reveals that his highly chaste and qualified daughter, Devahuti, has fixed her heart on Kardam. After hearing of the qualities from Narad Muni. So Narad Muni, he's been talking to Devahuti, that this Kardam Muni is a great sage, great soul. He begs Kardam Muni to accept her as his wife. Manu said that he had heard that Kardam had not taken a vow of perpetual celibacy. He was not going to take sannyas. He was prepared to marry. And that was because he wanted to increase the population of the world. Kardam praises Devahuti, whose beauty was so great that even Vishwavasu, the great Gandharva, his mind stupefied with infatuation, fell from his aeroplane after seeing her. He gladly accepted her as his wife on condition that once she conceived, he will leave to perform devotional service. That's quite a heavy condition. Once she has a child, she has 10 actually, he will go. He will continue his bhakti. Even though his father's order, Brahma, his father was Brahma, order was to procreate, the highest authority for the Muni is the Supreme Lord. Kadam becomes silent and smiled, thinking of his worshipable Lord Vishnu, who has a lotus on his navel. As he silently smiled, his face captured the mind of Devahuti, who began to meditate upon the great sage. Devahuti's mother, Satarupa, gave the couple valuable presents for dowry. Unable to bear the separation from his daughter, Manu poured tears from his eyes again and again. Finally, they bid her an affectionate farewell before traveling back to their capital through many beautiful hermitages. Overjoyed to know of his arrival, Manu's subjects came forth from Brahmavarta and greeted him with songs, prayers, musical instruments. The city of Barismati was so called because Lord Vishnu's hair dropped there from his body when he manifested himself as Lord Boar, Varaha. As he shook his body, the very hair fell and turned into blades of evergreen kusha grass. So kusha grass is very auspicious. It's coming from the bodies of the Lord, by which the sages worship the Lord. Manu himself spread this kusha grass and worshipped. Swayambhu Manu was a saintly king. Although absorbed in material happiness, he was not dragged to the lowest grade of life. So he was righteous, for he always enjoyed his material happiness in a Krishna conscious atmosphere. This is interesting. Happiness can come, can go, but both of them, happiness and unhappiness, can be accepted in a Krishna conscious atmosphere. That's really interesting. Consequently, although his duration of life gradually came to an end, his long life, he lives 306 million 720,000 years, something like that. 306,720 million years. Wow. 306, yeah. Was not spent in vain, since he always engaged in hearing, contemplating, writing down, and chanting the pastimes of the Lord. Next, Maitreya speaks to Vidur about Devahuti. So, chapter 23. I'll just chapter 23, Devahuti's lamentation. Knowing Kardam's desires, Devahuti pleased him by serving him as follows. She was very chaste, understanding her husband. She had great love for him, very intimate, great respect. Her senses were controlled. She always had sweet words, giving up lust, pride, envy, greed, sinful activities, and vanity. She worked sanely and diligently, served him without care for her own body. Amazing seva. Seeing Devahuti thin and weak from neglect, Kadam Muni was both pleased and astounded. He blessed her with the results of his own Krishna conscious activities. This is the greatest gift. Giving your own punya, spiritual punya, to somebody. Devahuti bashfully begged him to fulfill his promise to beget children. Devahuti requested her skinny body be rejuvenated and rendered fit for him. She also asked Kardamuni to think of a suitable house. Okay, there was no house. He was living in the forest. To create a suitable place for the union, Kardam created a 7-story jeweled aerial mansion. This is a flying house, flying palace. Surrounded by extensive gardens, the mansion and gardens were fully equipped with all household paraphernalia, beautifully decorated with jewels and flowers, and extremely pleasing. This is an idea of this amazing palace in the air. Even after seeing this beautiful airplane, Devhuti was not pleased, as her body was emaciated and dirty. Gautam asked her to take bath in the desire-fulfilling lake, Bindu Sarovar. Diving in, Devhuti was bathed, dressed, and ornamented by 1,000 maidservants. Her beauty was revived by their care and attention. When she thought of her great husband, she, along with all the maidservants, at once appeared where he was. She was amazed to find herself in the presence of her husband and to witness his yogic power. So he had acquired a great deal of mystic power just to create this mansion and have all these serving maids for his wife. Though seemingly attached to his beloved consort, the sage did not lose his glory. Kardam took his beloved wife on a journey through the universe. Wow. They stopped to enjoy the atmosphere in many heavenly gardens. By the Lord's mercy, they surpassed even the demigods. Kardam achieved such power because of his being a devotee, and not because of his proficiency in yoga. It's because he's a bhakta. After showing his wife the globe of the universe and its different arrangements, full of many wonders, the great yogi Kardamuni returned to his own ashram. Dividing himself into 9 forms, Kardam enjoyed with Devahuti for many years, which passed just like a moment. Towards the end, they conceived 9 daughters, who immediately took birth. Kardam thus fulfilled his promise of producing offspring. So he wanted to leave home for his real concern of spiritual realization. So it's very important that we realize that this world is temporary and everything will finish one day, and that we cannot be so attached to these impermanent, temporary things. Otherwise, we will remain in this world. So Kadam Muni is a great example of that. He wanted to go. Seeing her husband about to leave, Devhuti was distressed. Feeling she had wasted the opportunity of his association, she begged him to instruct her in spiritual knowledge and make her fearless. This was an indirect request for a son. As after Kadam went to the forest, their daughters would find their own suitable husbands and go away. So who will protect her? So very intelligent Devhuti. Devotee regretted that they simply wasted so much of their time in sense gratification, neglected to cultivate knowledge of the Supreme. Anyone whose work is not meant to elevate him to religious life, anyone whose religious ritualistic performances do not raise him to renunciation, and one who is situated in renunciation does not lead him to bhakti, to the Lord, must be considered dead, although he is breathing. So this is really interesting. One is working, should take him to religious life. In religious life, should take him to renunciation. From renunciation, bhakti. Otherwise, dead, even though living. Okay, let's stop there. Any questions? Any comments?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Amen. Hare Krishna.
Yes, thanks for, I joined a bit late today, but why was Devhuti became so emaciated?
Oh, because
She was caring too much for her husband?
Yes. She was. He was in meditation or doing seva, and she was just looking after his needs. And because he wasn't eating, she wasn't eating.
Okay.
He wasn't sleeping, she wasn't sleeping.
Oh.
Yeah, she was. And when Kadamuni saw what Devahuti was doing, he was thinking, how is this even possible? She's such an amazing person. So that was good. That was, was very good.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Prabhaben, anything?
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhuji. It's very nice episode today. Really enjoyed it, and it's good that Devti in the end. Kadam Rusi fulfilled her wishes that she had 9 daughters, and then even she begged for one son.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
And did he give son also?
Yes, he did.
Yes. And then after that, he went for his tapasya.
That's correct. Very. And we'll see this son is actually incarnation of God.
Yeah, what was the name?
Kapil.
Yeah, Kapil, that's right. Yeah. Let me write down. I've been writing also. Kapil.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Sometimes it's
little hard.
I know we have done this before, but reading, or when you're reading and we're listening, it just freshen up the mind.
No, thank you. Yes.
Yeah. And very interesting today. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you so much.
And when you understand more, it's good. So good. Manu brought the daughter, Devti, Dharana.
Yes.
And they made them married.
Yes. Correct.
Yeah.
That's
It
correct.
was very good.
Thank you.
No question today, please.
Okay.
Yeah, one question.
Sure.
Yeah, you said something about Kadam Muni's tears came up and Bindu Sarovar was built. Is that right?
Vishnu's tears. He saw Kadam Muni doing such austerity, very difficult austerity. Vishnu himself, he had tears. Oh, my devotee is doing such tapasya just for my pleasure. And he had tears.
And from there, the Bindu Sarovar came.
It was made, yes.
Made, yeah. Okay, let me write down that. I put down Kadamuni, but it's Vishnu in that's right. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Vishnu.
Ki Jai, Kadam Muni ki Jai, Devhuti Mata.
Yes.